Last month, I sat down to answer one simple question: where does all my money go? And it took me around 4 apps, a few forgotten passwords, a spreadsheet which I used to track and stopped in between, and around 30 to 40 minutes to get full picture of my cash input and cash output, like my expenses, my income, my investment, to put it in one single place so that I can plan my finances well. And I have always felt uncomfortable around this topic, which is financial management. The easiest way out for me was to ignore it, to not track expenses. I just had this in my mind that if I made cautious purchases, everything will figure it out by itself. So from past few years, I have started doing a few things towards my financial analysis, which is tracking my expenses, tracking my investment, and trying a few different templates to have the full visibility. But again, since it involved many manual putting up of my data together, it becomes a tedious process. And most of the time, I would not do it just because I would feel lazy about it. So, one thing which I felt is very important if you are like me and starting to have a finance planning and analysis is the complete visibility of everything around your finance, like what assets you have, what liability you have, where you are spending money, what percentage of things you are buying, your subscriptions, your investment, your risks around investment, and your fragmented accounts balances, which would give you idea of what direction you are going. If you are not very careful around something, you have to pay it back later with a lot of price. So when I was thinking how my money is flowing, I was trying to write down everything, and I felt like there is a system which is missing where I can trust my data and extrapolate all the different accounts which I have, all the data around it, into a single place, and then apply AI on top of it to give me some insights whether I am going in right direction or not, what changes I need to make, or how to plan for a financial goal, the budgets I should put, etc. And because of this thought, me and my husband was also feeling the same. We started building this solution which allows to put all the data together with data privacy around it. And you can track your expense, reducing as much manual effort which we can reduce in the process, and also integrating it with live prices of all your investment as much as possible. You can also put in your own interest rate or depreciation rates around things which you have as assets or liabilities. And then you can also calculate your fire number, plan your retirement, have a budget allocated, also all sort of things which you can do after the visibility. I'll share more when it is ready. But irrespective of that, the visibility is the most important thing. If you even not want to go for a fancy solution, you should start maybe making a note of everything on a paper. Since it's a financial data, it might be risky to put it on paper, but it still is a good start to have the visibility of everything in a single place. So it is well-known fact in any discipline of life, what you cannot measure is what you cannot change. Every serious financial outcome, whether paying your debt early or retirement planning to retire on your own terms or hit a saving goal, everything comes down to this uncomfortable stage of knowing where you stand and then realistically planning around it. But that's not correct, and I knew that I was just hiding behind my ignorance. It is very uncomfortable at first, but when you start seeing the progress around your goals, you will start feeling better and more comfortable with your finances. And this is a most important thing to do. Another thing which I used to think around my finances was I was focusing way more on earning more. So I used to think if I earn more, all of my financial things would sort it out by itself. But I think I was wrong. And it is not just based on good earning, but a good investment, saving, and a good planning around how you manage your finances. And that's what I will be talking about in this video. So the first thing which I felt is very important is the visibility, which is the foundation. You can take an example of driving at night with your headlights off. You might be able to reach your goal if you know in advance how your route is with a GPS maybe in your hand, but it will be really difficult journey and you might not be aware of all the potholes or anything additional which would come in your way to make your path more slow and unprepared for. So it's always better to have visibility and then plan around it. So if you are someone like me who is not a finance expert and who feels a little bit heavy around these topics, I think let me put it into a very simple way that the foundation of finances, the uncomfortable foundation of finances are budgeting, knowing your cash flow, and having financial goal, the realistic financial goals. And then you would know that everything is dependent on each other. A financial goal will need a budget to achieve it, and you will be able to budget for a financial goal if you know how much of cash you have. So you have to know your cash flow, your income, and your expenses so that you know the remaining amount and you will be able to budget it across your different financial goal. So financial goal depend on budgeting depend on cash flow, and cash flow depend on the full visibility of everything you have. So everything is interlinked. A good achievable financial goal should have a number with it and a date with it. So you can think something like I want to earn more, but it could be something like I want to have £150,000 of salary by the next year. I would know what things I would have to do to achieve that. That is just an example. So a good financial goal will have a number and have a time attached to it so that you can plan accordingly. We always think a little bit about our retirement. And since it is the farthest away as a goal, it is the most ignored one. Ignoring your retirement planning is believing that everything will get sorted out automatically by your future self, but that rarely happens. And if you want to achieve a bigger goal, you have to start early because there is a compounding effect around starting early. I started to look into my retirement goals, and definitely I would want to retire early. And for that, I have to work towards my goal. So if you look at my finances, it would look something like one main account where I receive my salary, the second account for saving for something which is out of sight, out of mind kind of situation. The third would be my trading account where I have the stocks and the ESA tax-free allowance. The fourth would be my pension pots, which is again fragmented because I have switched jobs and different jobs supports different pension schemes. I have a joint account with my husband for our household needs. And I have expenses, which includes buying things, which includes our experiences, planning a trip, our subscriptions, which most of it are daily needs, and few of it around our wish. So it already looks very fragmented, and if I want to make a financial decision, I have to look in every one of it to understand my current situation and how much I have in hand to put into that particular expense or goal. So for that, I think This was a problem which was faced by me and my husband. So we started building a solution around it. One more of our concern was not to share our financial data with another company. So something which is more secure around our finances data, and something which is less manual to do expense tracking. While many of the banks allowed us to connect different banks to have a single visibility, but it was not able to include the expense tracking or any other kind of assets or liability we have, or include anything which is not there in that particular country. If we have something in India, it would be very difficult to see it all together to understand our finance situation. So we thought of making a visibility tool which could have a visibility of all our assets and liabilities, and it should be able to fetch live prices wherever possible, specifically for the shares which are more volatile. And it should have option to put some interest or depreciation percentage around, like annual percentage. And to integrate it with different bank, it should have facility to get this statement and export it into it, so that we don't have to deal with much of connecting and data transfer as is, and it should store those data locally into our phone. And then while building that, I think AI will be able to give you better insight if it has full picture of it. So now we have started building an AI layer on top of it, so that take the anonymized data, analyze it as a financial consultant, and provide us with insights of what is good, where we should focus more, and how to align all our goals. It has features like allocating budgets for our financial goal. It has features where it can calculate your retirement age, the FIRE number if you want to retire early and plan around retirements. And it would have visibility if you have money in different country. So that's the whole plan, and we are at initial stage of building it, and soon I will share it with you to test it out if you like it or not. And once you have the knowledge of where you stand, the next you can think about is your action plan. That is where AI could help you. Even if you feel like you do not want to use the system around it, it is advisable to get everything together at a single place, whether be it a spreadsheet or a piece of paper where you know the full picture. With that data, you are able to decide what to do next, audit your own finances. And I feel like this would be the case for many of you. And that's why I'm excited about this solution, which I would be putting in together soon. And if you just want to take one thing out of this video, is get ahead of that uncomfortable feeling of tracking and get everything at a single place. Anonymize your data a little bit and use AI of your choice on top of the full picture, so that it can give you good advice. You tune it around your preferences. Tell it what you do not want to invest in. Tell it your preferences. Tell it your timeline. That in this age of AI, we would be able to get more out of it if we do it in this way. If this helped, please subscribe. You will get updated when my solution will be out. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.